my peeps, and welcome to what should be live with the paper pusher. But the paper pusher is having some trouble with the computer right now. Actually, I don't think it's the computer. I think it's the internet and the airwaves are overcapacitated. I'm not sure if capacitated is actually a word. Um, I'm still very tired and working on getting back into things. Did you see this? Woo! That's the exciting thing. I have to start this screen. I have stuff all over the place to show you, but this is too big to show you on my desk, so I have to start this way so I can show you. So we have to do this first, just so I can get rid of it, and then do all the other stuff. Because if not, I'm going to be totally distracted the whole time by doing this. So I was recently, as you may know, in Europe. I went to OnStage in Cologne, 12th to the 14th, I want to say. So we left early. We went to England, did some stuff there. Went through the channel. You would not even know. It was so quick, and it was just like going through a tunnel that you wouldn't even like. It didn't even phase you that it's. I want to say 100 meters now. I can't remember. Underneath the water, like going through the ocean in a tunnel. It's just crazy, but slick. Oh my goodness, that is the way to go. Down the coast of France, we went to Vimy Ridge. We went to Juno Beach. We went to Mont Saint Michel. Oh, incredible place. Just about killed me walking up it, but you know. In England, we went to the Tank Museum, which was my son's like #1 priority, and he, oh my god, the grin on his face. We went to Harry Potter Studios, Warner Brothers Studios. That thing is amazing. We needed more time, more water, and more leg power, but oh my goodness, that place was amazing. And then we went into Cologne for our onstage, and then we kind of trickled our way down into Munich and did a bunch more stuff for the like other week, and went to Nordlingen, and Munich's cool. Cologne is a lovely little city. We went to Stuttgart. We went to, I just love to say that one. We went to Speyer, which was another museum my son wanted to go to. It's all like anything military, tank, plane, aeronautics. You know, he's into that stuff. So we kind of worked our way down. It was fantastic. Um, it was more than my knees were up for, and I just powered through every day. Ranger on, go, go. So it's taken me a long time to recover. Our return travel day home was 25 hours. From the time we woke up to the time we went to bed, 25 hours straight. It was planes and buses, and it was like a bus to there, and then a shuttle to there, and then get on a plane to go to another place, to another shuttle, to another terminal, to another plane. It was so long. So I'm finally feeling like fairly perky. Still, I get tired easily though. And yeah, my knees are not recovered. They're getting better, and even just like the muscles, all the muscles around them and stuff. So it has been slow going. Hence the reason it has taken me an extra, half a week before I get going. But in the last, well, because just before OnStage, Stampin' Up announced a bunch of stuff, and then there was stuff at OnStage, and then there's been new stuff since. There's so much information that I'm just going to give you chunks, right? If you got my newsletter, that's how I explained it yesterday. So I'm going to show you the things I can show you. I'm going to show you some stuff from OnStage. I got some new kits. I got some new products. I got some stuff to tell you. And then I'm going to do an open house, like a catalog launch, open house kind of thing. So lots of the details you're going to get there. And I'm not going to show you all of my stuff. My pre-orders come in. I actually ordered the product purchase premiere, where you can order some stuff early if you go to OnStage within the first couple days. And then I got to order the pre-order last week, which shipped very quickly. I was very impressed. A lot of people were waiting till April 1st, so now they're not going to ship as quickly. But and so I got my pre-order, which is so much stuff to play with, and I have plans for like the classes from now to or get-togethers or whatever, various different things from now to the end of the year. And now it's just like so many things. It's like, okay, now which one do I start on? So I'm doing it in the time it is. Like right now, there's some things you need to know now that are important. The new catalog and all those new products, that's awesome, but none of that's till May. So here's the stuff you need to know leading into that. So I'm going to focus on that first. By the time we get to the catalog launch, you can tell you all those other things, and I'll have lots of samples and things to show you. If you have immediate questions, you can always message me, and I'll see if I know the answer. But yeah, it seems like jumping the gun to focus too much on that. So this is, and like I said, it's a random assortment of stuff. But let's go back to OnStage. So OnStage is lots of fun. I mean, one of the biggest parts of OnStage is you're sitting in a room full of like-minded people nerding out over all things stamping. And this bag is really driving me nuts holding it. And like people get so excited. We got to see. We kind of got the week before, which they don't normally do. We got to see the sneak peek of the new ink colors. Here, I'll do this. I'll show you better in a minute. And so that's one thing, like getting excited over the new ink colors. Now this time there's new ink pads to go with them. So that was more, everybody was like, oh, well, let me see the new ink pads. And so, but like sometimes, you know, my family, my sister just calls me a big nerd, but, and you know, they get the eye roll when you get all excited about this. Well, when you're in a room full of your peeps, they don't do that because they're like, oh my God, did you see the new colors? So that's part of the fun. And just chatting with them. And I made some lovely new friends and just had a great old time. Like it was just nice. And as far as the trip went, we walked so much in the first week and so much in the second week that this little bit in Cologne, even though I still had a little bit of a hike from the hotel to the room and back and up and down and, you know, lineups and stuff. So it wasn't completely without, you know, knee strain, but it was, I'm not sure I'd have made it through week 3 if I didn't have this break in week 2. So it was very lovely for that too. But anyhow, so the people and you get to like do stuff ahead of time. There was a very top secret thing. It was so funny. So we find information out that nobody knows yet, that only demos get to know. So we found out at OnStage, and then on the Tuesday afterwards, the rest of the demos found out. And then if you're a customer, you just have to wait. Because right now we don't actually know when the stuff's coming. And until it does, we're not allowed to say anything. And so you just, like, right? So, like, it's just fun, like, all the extra stuff. Anyways, plus you get stuff. I mean, it's always fun to get stuff. So as all events happen, you end up with an event bag. So this one is in the new hydrangea hue color. It's a little quilted bag. It's very popular apparently, this style. So there's this little outside pouch that you can use as an outside pouch. But you see this little zipper here? It's got the zipper there that makes the pass through. So it's one of those bags that you can, like, on top of your, you know, you pull up the arm on the carry suitcase, so it'll hook onto there. So yeah, people were getting very excited about this. There's a little water bottle pouch. And it does come, it's got this black and white interior, black and white polka dots. And it does come with a black and white crossbody strap. So yeah, people were loving this thing. And it's very handy. And I do like it. I mean, these are good quality. Stampin' Up does that. But I will be full disclosure. I can't see myself using this bag very much. I have certain bags that I like and I'm very particular. And as much as a nice new bag might be, it takes a lot to bump the old ones off. I have like some that I've had for years. If you were watching along on the posters, I'm still using the same change purse that I bought in 1983 because it works and I like it and it's nostalgic and it doesn't matter how many new ones I get. I like that one. So this, when I talk later on about our Catalogue Launch, I gotta call it the right thing. And I talk about door prizes. This is one of them. I'm gonna be drawing from the people who come to the thing, and one of you guys gets to have the much coveted OnStage bag. Okay, so that OnStage bag is always full of goodies. Okay, so it did have a stamp set. All my stuff is all mixed together and organized over here for the catalog, so now I don't know which ones are which. But it did have a stamp set in it, and it had a set of, which you'll see shortly, ephemera, like sentiment ephemera, and other stuff. How bad is that? Other stuff. You always get name tags, right? And you get to put your stuff on. And if you're one of the, like, I was going to say high achievers, but that's so not the right word. Top achievers. How about I switch the camera so you can actually see what I'm showing you? One moment, please. Did I mention I was tired? Okay. So yeah, you get your things. So these are cool. This tells you where you're from, which is handy when everybody asks you questions. You like to look what country they're from before you answer. Biggest question I got asked: why did you choose to come all the way to Europe instead of going to the one in the U.S.? One, this is your door prize number. This one, if you scan the little QR code, it brings up the agenda, which is handy as hell. G is for gluten-free, so they know I get a gluten-free meal. And then I had signed on for OnStage After Hours, which is this, and then this is your title. And depending what you have, like so the top achievers, they'll have a list of like 15 different ribbons hanging off the bottom of their thing. But we all have this. Everybody walks around and you get to know each other. I'm going to put that there. You always get a pen or pens and a notebook. Put that one down. This one, this little loop here is to hold them. Lovely little notebook. And some pens. I'm super particular about pens. I will never use these pens, so yes, they're going in the door prize draw too. But it is very nice to have these. I was using my own notebook, so this is like pristine and brand new. And I haven't decided yet, because I do like a notebook, if this is going to be a draw or not. I have no shortage of notebooks, and like I said, I use the ones that I have. I have a lot of them on the go right now, so we'll decide. You always get a pin, and I don't really collect pins, but I've sort of started collecting these just because it's just sort of like a little history of all the on stages I've been to. But that one says on stage, and these are usually fairly thematic to something, like whatever they're giving out and doing. This time we were able to order some stuff ahead of time, some like little promo stuff. And it's funny because I said they had these little change purses, right? And they were so cute. And so I ordered some. But I like my other ones so well. But so some of these I'm going to give out, and I might keep one. I don't know. They were so cute, and I liked them so much. But really, after using my other one again, I'm like, well, I'm not. It's not like I'm going to change my change purse. But anyway, so these ones were ones you had to buy. These were not freebies. This is like you chose whether you wanted to buy them or not. There was some little like pen holders, but those had sold out before I had the chance, and something else that didn't interest me. But it's more just like branded merchandise, so you can get some extra stuff. I was also cognizant of the fact that whatever I got, I had to carry home. This was not in this piece of paper. That was the paper itself, like the blank white sheet of paper, was in our bag. And then on one of the breakout sessions, we went around and got little chunks of the cardstock and stamped with the new ink pads and colored with the blends to like get the colors. And I quite like these colors. So also in our bag was the stuff we got to do, like make and takes and stuff. So this one, there's photos that they had up on one of the boards, and then these were just in our bag. We didn't really, it was really funny because we didn't really get told anything about them. They were just there, and there's stuff jammed in the other side. But on here, it's like your make and take package, it says there. So, but eventually I saw the board, and I'm like, oh, this matches that. So, but they put it in the bag, never said a word about it. So it was sort of a, hey, discover what you've been given and figure out what it is. So there's a 6x6 and a 12x12 one sheet wonder. So we'll be doing both of these in the coming weeks. I love a good one sheet wonder. Love it. And I have some pictures of their version of it somewhere on my camera. So it might just be winging it and see what fun we have without even looking at what's in it. So we have that one. And then we did do a couple make and takes. I think the first day we made this one. And I have two of those. Just a minute. We had the supplies to make two of each card. It's funny because I was excited about this one because I think A4 is the European measurement. So it's a little bit taller and a little bit skinnier than ours. Seriously, my desk is so full of things, and you need to tell me I don't have a single card in reaching distance that I can just grab. Apparently, I have this one. Just a minute. So it was kind of fun because like you always see, I haven't actually seen like the comparison in real life. So it was, and I sat with a table of Europeans, so it was fun to see like how do things work and how do they do stuff. It was very cool to compare. But I was always wondering about their cards. So as you can see, this is our card, which I have in front now because it's shorter. So theirs is about half an inch longer, but theirs is also about, let's go with an 1/8 of an inch wider. So that's too high. So that's the difference on the A4. This cutest crew thing, absolutely love it. Anyway, so yeah, so that was one of the. Oops, turn it the right way. And this one we got handed out. Everybody got as a door prize this stamp set so that we could use it for like this one. So we got to make that make and take. And then on the second day, we got to use this new mask that's coming out. That's meant to look like water. I see giraffe skin more than I see water. But it could be rocks. It could be. Anyways, it was so cool. And this is a 12x12 mask. It's a huge mask. It's tons of fun. And then this is that we used out of our ephemera set. So that was one of the other cards we made. I love note cards. I'm sort of in my note card phase right now. I'm just making tons of note cards to let you, because you can mail them. At least in Canada, they're like, I checked on the website once and they're like just above, like just barely above the minimum mailing size. So in Canada, you can mail note cards. I would imagine most places you probably can. But anyways, yeah, it's just this coolest mask. So it's actually a set of two. And the second one, this one we got to make 2 cards of as well. This one I didn't put a sentiment on. Well, this one you can see a little bit better. The other mask is these little dots, which I just kind of it was meant to be like a subtle background, and it's super subtle because you can barely see it. But anyway, so it's a set of 2 masks. That one I never put a sentiment on. So that was another one of the ones we made, and those were little bits and pieces we had. One of the new things coming out in the new catalog, they have impressions dies. So there's an impression mat you use with your existing Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And it's a slightly different die. So you can just run it through and cut it as a regular die. Or you can run it through and cut it with this impression mat on it. And then it makes it like super puffed up, like textured. This impressions mat. Now in the new catalog, there's 2 sets of dies to do this. You can't just take any set of dies and do it. Although you know what? I will pick my least favorite die and I will try it just to see what happens. But these are like designed for this. So, but right now there's 2. So this is one of the samples from one of them. I've totally forgot the name, but it doesn't matter. You'll see it in the catalog. Ooh. Anyways, very impressive depth on that thing. And then isn't this the cutest idea? I always try to have technique classes, and I can't seem to get enough interest. But I'm going to try again because I really like to do them. But so this is what we were doing there. They were showing us some stuff as we were doing it. This one I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Just going to try and remember. There we go. I don't think that zoomed, did it? Nope. There we go. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm not sure why I'm off the. You can see my keyboard now, but okay. Not really sure what's going on there. Okay. Anyways, these are using the flip flaps. Sorry, now I'm completely screwed up as to which way to go to make this work. And so they used them to make like the little sample book. What a great idea! And you could do all sorts of different like techniques and things. I love it. So when the new catalog, well, when the pre-order went live, we didn't have them, but they have shimmer brushes, which are like the Wink of Stella, but they're in the 5 in colors. And this is maybe not the best. No, it's not really showing up. But they are very, like a nice subtle glitter. And if you know me, you know that this is so not true. Totally not true. But yeah, we got to try them out and see how they worked. And you can like flick with them and make the little spatter on them really easily. So got to try those. This was a new technique that they showed us. There was a complete opposite of how I use a lifter pen on blending. And it didn't work there, but I think it's because we didn't really have enough time. There was a lot of people and we were kind of rushed. But I'm anxious to try this on other things. The new catalog has white gel pens in it. And these gel pens work so nicely. And yes, the table that I sat with Sam Hammond, who is Poodles. And then her team is called Poodlers. And I think she's got like 300 people on her team. So this was just like a few of them from the UK, Scotland, one lady from Germany, and one lady from Austria. And they were the nicest people, and they just took me in, and I was their teammate for the weekend. It was fantastic. But yeah, these pens, ooh, awesome. And then we did use the stamp positioner as well, which I showed before I left. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna go back to where I was because I'm having a hell of a time with figuring out where to hold my hands. And this one I did color over top of with the brush just to see what would happen, because we stamped this like totally different time than we use these brushes, and it smudged a little. So, you know, just testing out the glimmer brushes. But isn't this a cute idea with using the flip flops to make like little sample books, or you can make little photo albums out of it? And this is supposed to be like when we got home, you're supposed to put a strip of DSP over top of it to make like a pretty little top to it. I just haven't got that far, but so that gave me ideas. And then I like to make table treats for when people craft. And when I go to a convention or something, I make little treats for everybody else at the table. So I had given them out. I didn't have any swaps or anything, and I was just like, here you go, enjoy. It was meant to be representative, so there was like some maple sugar candies in them. There was an Oilers sticker, because although I'm not a huge hockey fan, I'm enough of a hockey fan to know that Leon Draisaitl comes from Cologne, which is where the thing was, so it just seemed appropriate. There was a little Alberta Wild Rose pin and a Canada pin. And then there was some like OnStage essentials, like the little dry towels that you drop. Like if you spill your water, you can drop them on the ground and they swell up, and then you can use them like a little face cloth. But they're really good at spilling or picking up or like absorbing the water you spill. The most adorable. Oh, I think I have some. The most adorable little packs of wipes. They are so tiny and they're so cute. A couple Band-Aids, like just little things you need, right? So I had made these little things, and that was great. And then I don't know, I didn't like it was just here you go. But then somehow the universe must have said, "Well, Tracey, you should get something in return," which I did not expect, did not need. But nonetheless, the next day, people just kept giving me things. Like they'd go by the table and they'd say, "Are you swapping?" I'd be like, "No." They're like, "Here you go." Because usually the swapping happens on the first day. Like if you make a bunch of stuff and you get the swapping, people are crazy for the swapping. And so I think by the second day, most of the swapping's done. So if they have swaps left, they were just handing things out. And sometimes there's 3D swaps. And look at this adorable little pouch. From Mardette Creates. And look at it. It's got this like little thing on it. And you want to see the cutest part? It has a little candy in it. It has a little chick. Isn't that adorable? That's like the perfect little spring candy with the chick. But anyways, this is cute, so I'll be copying that and making more of those. Excuse me. So we have that one. And then this was one of the lovely ladies, Heather, sitting at the table with us. She's so nice. Give a little thing, a little keychain. And I'm assuming she purchased these and but added some DSP to them to give them a little Stampin' Up touch. Very nice. And yeah, just awesome ladies to sit with. Janice, this is, it's so funny because she was just randomly handing things out and had different samples of them, but if you've ever noticed a theme, I go nuts every time I see a thistle, and this little charm with the thistle on it and the little, it just spoke to me. Isn't that a nice bookmark? Another bookmark. Has little shiny bits in it. This one is from Ali Schrijver in the Netherlands, and I have the foggiest, like, I think she was just walking by and hello, and sometimes there were so many people and so many things. Like the other ones I remember getting, but this one I don't even remember getting. But look, it's like a shaker bookmark. And then this was another one of the ladies at the table. No, this was a different lady. She came around, but she had just made like little calling cards. So she put her little YouTube channel on it, and then just, what is this? Not cute? Oh, it's adorable. And then Sam gave me one. She said she had extra one of her team. So for her team, she had made these little bags for them. And so she said I was an honorary team member, so I got one too. So check out this notepad. I told you I like notepads. Check out this notepad. Lovely sentiment on the front to begin with, but stickers, or like sticky notes, my favorite invention. And then a little nice notepad. Nice notepad. These squashies were delicious. Yes, they're empty, but they were delicious. There's a nice little tag in there. Thanks for being amazing. We got a little bit of candy and a little chapstick in there, so that was a nice little bag. See, that is a like an OnStage bag because you need those little sticky notes to start flagging the catalog and a little pen and you make your notes, and there's never enough water and never enough time to like go for a pee break, so you got to really pace yourself. So candies and chapstick, absolutely. And then I'm sure this was one of the ladies at the table. Now I can't remember. Check out how nice this is. And this seal that you can stamp into to make the cool seals. Isn't that nice? Oh, this was from the first day. Yes, this was one of the ladies. We had a slightly different group. We had a couple different ladies sitting with us at the table the first day, and then the second day they went and sat somewhere else. So that was Caroline. I want to say she is from Holland. Not Holland. Netherlands. But look at this nice little book with a nice little pad. And then there's a, oh, isn't that nice? Yep. We'll be making those one day too. So we got all of those things. We got this. Move that off to the side. We did not get this printout. I just did this printout. And then of course we got the new catalog, which I can't show you yet. Can't even open it till, is it May 3rd? What, I think I said May 5th. It is May 5th. So this is the new catalog. And yes, there's lots of comments about it because this lovely lady is very distracting. But this is sort of the new format. I like that it's back to like this way instead of this way. It's easier on my desk and my stuff. Lots of pages full of things, lots of good reference sheets. So like all the complaints people made about the last catalog, there's 8 little ends in there now, like the little red ends, so you can really quickly point out what's new. So they did all of the things that people had talked about. So this is the new catalog, and the new process is there's a January to April catalog, May to August catalog, September to December catalog. No more annual catalog. So we'll dive into that more at the, sorry, also my eyes really itchy, at the catalog launch. But just know that I have these. And when you come to the catalog launch, I will have these for you. I will have a little sampler with the in colors. There's a new treat holder. I'll have a sample of that, which of course will be full because you don't give an empty treat holder. And then there's information, there's door prizes, there's all sorts of fun stuff. So that's when you can get your hand on these. The new online exclusives, I'll just mention quickly because there was a little bit of a controversy about it. And one of the things that happened is it's really unfortunate. And I don't want you guys to be those guys, okay? So I'm going to tell you now. So our online exclusives for May, that's what they changed last year or the year before. When a new catalog comes out, a set of online exclusives come with it. And then in the months in between, so basically every 2 months online exclusives come out, every 4 months a catalog comes out now. So ours is a little bit light this time, the Canadian one, or actually the everybody but the US one. Because one of the things they did, and I'm just going to do this quickly so I remember, this is a new suite, and it's got two stamp sets, 2 die sets, embossing folder, and a set of DSP. And it is called Silly Old Bear. And it is based on Winnie the Pooh. Because of a bunch of things, it's only going to be released in the US. And that got a whole lot of people worked up. And it sucks, let's face it. Funny story, side note, I love Disney. I love all things Disney. I owned every Disney video there was before I even had a child. I love Disney. The one Disney thing that I just never really was that excited about, I mean, it's okay, but it's, yeah, Winnie the Pooh. So I'm okay with it. I'm also okay with it because there's jack boop that we can do about it. So here's the thing. Stampin' Up! Went down the path of developing this suite, and everything takes you. So they probably started 2-3 years ago at least of developing this suite. And it does look cute. I mean, the one set is mostly like labels and dies and like background type stuff, and one is characters, and then they go together and the stamps and the things, and there's lots of little like quote type stuff. I can tell I'm not a huge Winnie the Pooh expert, as I said, not really, but it looks like some of the sentiments are like lines or like clips from Winnie the Pooh. So a lot of work went into this thing, and from as I understand it from their explanation, because yes, like I said, people got excited. The patent was supposed to be done in 2027, 50 years after the death of the original author, I guess is how the patent was working. So in 2027, that should have happened, and they should have been able to release it everywhere. Like the whole market. So that would be North America, Canada and US, South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe, which is like 8 countries. But as the process progressed, they changed the patent, and instead of 50 years, they changed it to 75. So now it's not available till like 2040 something. I don't know if it was a different rule for the US because they'd already done so much in the US they got exempted, but they didn't. Anyways, whatever the reason was, they moved it to 2026 and are only releasing it in the US because they can't get around all of this other stuff. So that is what it is. US is the only people getting it. Will people find ways to break rules and do things? Pretty sure they will. I won't. But here's the thing. The US demos got to do their pre-order same time as us. The stuff in the US, it seems like their shipping goes so much faster. I don't know what it is. I think part of the thing is I think the US Postal Service works weekends. But stuff just seems to move so much faster there. So anyways, last week already, demonstrators were starting to post pictures with this. And the first one I saw on the demo page, I went in to look at because I thought, please, please tell me demos are better than this. And I went in, and this woman, I don't even remember what the card was, quite honestly, or her name or anything. She posted, she's like, so excited about this suite. First card made. Look at this. And almost every comment, like hundreds of them, was, how come we can't get it here? We should be able to get it here. How come we can't get it here? And frankly, that demo did not deserve those comments. So, it is what it is. People should have told her how cute her card was and how much they loved it. Maybe I'd give you the okay to be like, oh, I wish we could get that here. It's adorable. But the multitude of comments complaining about Stampin' Up! Not releasing it everywhere and how come, and they did explain it. These people hadn't seen the explanation. It was just ridiculous. So just know that in May, yes, there's some online exclusives. Ours is not as big as normal because of the one issue. That issue is not changing. It's time to move on. There's a couple other fun things going on with the catalog too, and supplies and all the other stuff. So we'll talk about all that at catalog time. In the meantime, it's April 1st. That means there's a new product of the month. This one's going to be super popular because these dies are expensive. Like normally when you get like these big sheet dies, because I would imagine they're expensive to make. That's a lot of metal in there. But these dies are usually like 40 bucks or something. But this makes like one like the size of a card front. And then you can cut them into pieces and do the... Oh, anyways, I ordered mine this morning. This is going to be very popular. I finally remembered to look ahead of time. So the December DSP, which I forgot the name of, it's the one with the swoopies in the bright colors. That helps, I know. Is out of stock. That one sold out. But the January, February, March... I'm not actually sure. Was January DSP as well? December, January, February, March, April. I'm missing one. Which month? No, I have them all. I just can't remember what month in my head, I can't remember the order. Anyways, so you can order the April one. If your orders are enough, like for every $100 you order, you can pick one. So you can get some of the backlog ones, and I will show you those in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll show you now, because if not, I'll forget. So I got my March one. I got the February one. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe this was January's. And then there was paper, and then there was another stamp set. I can't remember. I finally got this one. I didn't have a lot of time before I left to do stuff. So, what's worth noting on this one is these are fabulous sayings, but they're also big. And I used them on a couple things. Here, I'll show you at some point. But yeah, like these are like, look how big Happy Birthday is. What? So, but this is an awesome stamp set, and it's good. You'll see, but it's good to fill in stuff. So that's one of the ones. And then the one that came just before I left that I didn't really have time to play with. Oh no, this one came just after I got back. I ordered it just as I left. That's right, because we left on the 3rd, and that's the day this one came out. So it was here when I got here. And I was very excited about this little Notes of Spring. Because look at the little critters. And then these are nice. Nice little sentiments. So I made a few note cards, because I said I'm obsessed with note cards lately. And this is the beauty of a note card. I stamped on the birthday thing, and I stamped on the little duck, and then I just kind of, with my blends, added a bit of color. This is the thank you is from the other one I showed you. This is just a piece of, unfortunately now it's retired. As of today, a bunch of stuff is on the discontinued list, but this little paper, I just stamped the little deer. See, because in my head I was thinking, thank you, dear. And the little thank you. So I added a couple little layers, made a cute little note card. And then this one I had lots of fun with. This one I just took the little bunny and stamped him in bright little rainbow colors. And it just worked perfectly with the Happy Easter that came out of, I think that's called Easter Basket from the catalog. And look at this. So look at the 3 different looking cards, and all very simple to make. So yeah, no cards for the win. But look at how cute this set is, right? There's lots of things you can do with it. So that was the March one. And then that was the April one. Just move those off to the side. Move this over here. 2 new kits came out today, so all I can do is show you pictures because, you know. So this one is going to be lovely, though, with these little backgrounds, and they have the little peekaboo windows. This one is called Painted Skies, and it's got all the little pre-printed things. Is this all 4 languages? This one's all 4 languages. And then this one, at first I looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. There's only two pages in there. And I was like, whew, 59 bucks for 2 pages? I don't know. And then I read the description, 12 pages. And I was like, holy cow, that's a heck of a deal. So it's nice bright colors. You can sort of see what's in here. There's some big words in there that like you can add on, and there's some smaller sentiments. But yeah, it makes 6 2-page layouts of like 12 by 12 scrapbook pages. It's called Sunniest Stories. So how about that one? This one, the sentiments are only in the 3 languages. There's no Dutch. But anyways, those are the new kits that are coming out. So add those to your list. And then we got Paper Pumpkin. So let's talk Paper Pumpkin. So, same thing. Just before I left, I got to order the new Paper Pumpkin dies. And I like to make stuff with the dies just to see how they work. So this is what we get, right? This is all we get. We get like a little snippet that tells you what the upcoming kits are. So I can tell that May is Sparkling Celebrations and has like those little floaty lanterns that you put up. So I'm going to assume that this little firework thing goes with that one. This one is flowers and leaves and a little bike and stuff. So I'm going to assume that the flowers and the butterflies go there. Not really sure where the word wonderful, which one that goes with. And this one, just because of it's kind of more masculine than that, I'm assuming that that one's this one. Because these ones are meant to coordinate and to add to them, like to add to your stuff. So I don't know. But these dies are like standalone dies, right? And every one of the sets that's come out before I have bought and I have loved. And I've found like most of them, I think there might have been a couple early on that like were the shape to cut out one of the stamped images in the kit. But most of them are these standalone things, and they're amazing. So that's the new dies. They're still in stock. So I made, shocker, 2 note cards. So this was the first one I made, and I want to add 2 more stars to it. I feel like I need a star here, and if I put a star there, that's 4, so I think I'm going to have to put a star there. But I wasn't sure if 5 stars was too much. These were from the March exclusives. These big foamy stars, they're awesome. But these are the fireworks, and you can't really see it. I can see looking on the TV, but around the screen. You can see the embossing for like the little lines, but I just sort of made them. And instead of just putting them behind what was meant to be the night sky, I liked just having like little bits of, I don't know, this color was, this was a little bit creative on my part, and I kind of like how it turned out. And then here's the other one. I just made a little sign. And this happy birthday came out of one of the boxes I had sitting on my desk. Now I don't remember. I'll find it when we get there. But like this little sign, I figure you could make this little sign say anything you wanted. Oh, you know what else I learned? I was having, like, what did I do with them? Did I not leave them on my desk? Did I was going to say, did I just put them away? Can't believe I put them away. Maybe I did. So one of the things I learned today, though, while I was doing this is, oh, there we go. I did put them away. So you see these flowers, right? There's 3 little flowers here. So 2 of them are not bad, but this little flower, this embellishment was too big. So this is the one that I took it off of. Those are just other ones stuck there. Ignore those. So this is these little lemon lolly ones, and then these tiny little pink eggs. Adorable. So this is what I was using, and it's kind of like a soft foam-like thing. So what I found was you could take your little, you take it out of the package, but take your little guy like this, punch, and I made a smaller one by punching through this thing. So some of these embellishments, I noticed we've had a couple ones lately that are this kind of, I don't know, like foamy things. They're not hard resin. You can punch them with your hole punch and make them smaller. I was so excited when I figured that out. But anyways, those are just 2 little note cards that I made using those dies. I'm getting myself sidetracked. Now, here's the thing. I got home from holidays, and I had, my lovely brother was keeping watch on my house, and my nephew was staying here. And so, but I had given my brother instructions about, you know, packages, anything that was expected. And I said, the paper pumpkin, I said, sometimes they put it on the porch, sometimes it goes in the mailbox, but it should be around this date. So when I got home, I was looking for my March paper pumpkin. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I went and looked online just to see if it said anything, and it said the shipment was pending. So I wrote a message to Stampin' and just said, any reason why, any ideas? And they just said, we'll put it to paper pumpkin resolution, and I never heard back on the why, but it took about 3 days, and then it said your thing has shipped. So no idea why, but I only got this yesterday. That's the longest it's ever taken me to get a paper pumpkin. I have no idea why it didn't ship. My credit card is good. Everything was fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with the account. Somehow it just didn't ship. So basically I've had this since yesterday. So sometime in the next week I'm going to put it together and show you it in better detail. But this was the March kit. So March is the anniversary month for Paper Pumpkin. 2013. So, or 2013. So this is the 13th anniversary of Paper Pumpkin. Funny enough, I just realized it says wishing you a happy anniversary. So this one has these great little hummingbirds, and it's got some extra foliage, and it's got some, anyways, because it's birthday month, that's what they've been doing. There's always something extra, but lately it's been an extra stamp set. So it makes these lovely cards. Look at those cards. This one I particularly like. So yeah, I'll show you the March one, but I haven't had time to do anything with it. Now, I debated. I went back and forth a little bit, because at OnStage, one of the things we got was the April Paper Pumpkin Kit. And one of the things you'll notice is this now says English, 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 in all 4 languages on the front. because this kit, starting in April, is now global. So up until like March of this year, the first 13 years, the only people who could get this kit were Canada and the US. And I know when it first started, you couldn't even get it in Quebec. You could just get it here, or like all the other provinces. But that may or may not have changed. I'm not sure. The whole time, though, it's been English. There's no French version of the kit. It's just English. So other markets have wanted it, and there was issues with trying to get it to them. And I don't know if there was issues with translating or if they finally just said, we can do this if we don't translate. I noticed when we were in Europe, we did not have trouble finding people that spoke English. So, but that doesn't mean it's okay because it's not your native language. So I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. But when they announced that Paper Pumpkin was now going to be in all the markets, I was in Europe at the time, and they were getting this for the first time, and they were very excited. And then they handed us all April's Paper Pumpkin. So normally we don't know ahead of time. Like normally this is what we get. We get like a little snippet or a little sampler. In this case, it says it coordinates with the Waterside Retreat. So if you're a demo and you've got the catalog, or you could look at the one online, I can see this suite, and I can tell you, she's nice. But because I have this one this time, I'm like, you know what? April's going to be a busy month. Like all those people through all those other markets that could never get this before that can get it now, a lot of people are going to go nuts for April, and they're going to order the April one. And the thing is, if you sign up for Paper Pumpkin, you can't skip your first month. You have to take the first month, and then after that you can skip if you want, but you have to collect at least the first month to validate the subscription and make sure everything works and go forward. So all these people that are going to sign up new are going to get April's. So sometimes after the kit comes out, there's refills. Sometimes there's full kits left, and sometimes there's just refills, which is just like the consumable stuff. You don't get the stamp set or the spot, but you get all the paper stuff. I'm not sure if any of that's going to be available. Like April's going to be like a spike, and then I will level off. I have no idea. Like it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But for those of you, because I know there's a lot of people who wait to see the kit and then decide if they want it and then see what they can get. I'm not sure you want to do that this time. So a couple things. This kit is awesome. This suite is awesome. But this is like great masculine cards, great nature cards. I love these cards. Like these cards are awesome. The other thing I noticed is normally between the instructions and the cardboard, there's like a little sheet that you get to use for your stamp set. Well, this time, the stamp set thing seems to be on the back. So I don't know if they're doing away with that little piece, because I actually opened the whole kit and rifled through it to find the rest. And I didn't. So I don't know if they got rid of the separate little sheet and the stamp set is now just like this, like to show you. But this is definitely the way to show you. Thanks. That's where I got the happy birthday from. Happy Father's Day. So you can have thanks, Dad. Thanks, Son. Older, wiser, better. You're a lifesaver. You're an inspiration. And then some little cattails and some little birds. Anyways, this is an awesome kit. So you have till the 10th of April to sign up for this kit. It also has a Peaceful Pine, which is one of the new in colors, ink spot. And we used to have these before, these awesome little rock embellishments. I love these. I do have a stash of these, but it's kind of nice to have some more in the kit. So anyways, that's the April kit. So if you're interested in the Paper Pumpkin kit, April's a good one. What else do I have? Let me see. I don't even know what time I started. Can I tell on my thing? After fighting with the computer, somewhere on here, I think it should tell me how long this video is. Ooh, yep. There we go. Okay. Catalog launch. I put this on my thing and I will post this. I realize now I thought I was being so clever because I can read where it says Stampin' Up! Made August 2026 catalog, like off the catalog. But I realize it's not super readable, so I might have to fix that a little bit. But on the 25th of April, which is a Saturday, I'm doing a little in my home catalog launch, old school. Lots of samples, lots of stuff out, some snacks. If you want to pay a little extra and make some note cards with like some of the, it won't all be like new stuff from the catalog, but I got March stuff. I got, there's so many things. And I do have some of the new stuff, but we'll have some little note cards if you want to make note cards. Because I wasn't able, just with so much going on, to do with the April class I was planning so that people could have stuff for like Mother's Day or May occasions that they needed. So we can have some note cards if you need those. And then in May, I'll be doing a class that's more geared towards the masculine. So that you have your June Father's Day or cards for the men in your life, or the masculine, or the outdoorsy, or whatever it works out to be. But anyway, so this is the next one coming out. So you need to register and pay by the 20th so I can get everything done and get all the stuff. you get lots of fun stuff and come. So this is a great way. I'll tell you all the catalog stuff. Away we go. But before then, and what's important now is, and I put this in my newsletter as well. Why do I have 2 pieces of paper? Oh, that's right. Stampin' Up! Announced a little while ago that when the May catalog comes out, some stuff is going up in price. Now, I went through. I can't get all of it, but I went through the new catalog because I could see the new catalog and I could see what was online, and so I could find some stuff out to figure out what the price differences are. There's a lot of stuff out of stock right now, like in the May online exclusives that came out. A bunch of stuff came out of stock. So this card is part of the Cutest Crew, which is adorable. And I mean, I was up at midnight, ordered as soon as I could, and I'm glad I did because that Cutest Crew stamp set, which also has dogs and cats in it, has gone in and like, so it sold out and then it came back in, it sold out again, it came back in, it sold out again. It's very popular. Part of the problem is that Stampin' Up! Did a way too good join offer in the fall, expecting they'd get like 5,000 or 6,000 new demonstrators, and because they underpriced it so much, they got 16,000 new demonstrators. So that's 16,000 more people that can pre-order than before, and they didn't account for that in the ordering. So there was a lot. Now, I don't know if that's been adjusted in time for the May catalog. I know when I got to pre-order last Wednesday, I think it was last Wednesday, there's some stuff in the new catalog, this happens, that was not even in yet. So I couldn't order a refill for the new black ink pad that's out, and I couldn't order the sparkly, that's not what they're called. What did I say? Brushes. Glimmer brushes? Whatever those brushes are called. They weren't available. Will they be back in? I don't know. A lot of the stuff that's out of stock right now is coming in either next week or the last week of April is when the estimated time for it to come in is. A lot of stuff is on low inventory already. So you know that as soon as... So today they announced the update to the last chance product list. So stuff goes fast. A lot of people were waiting for today to order because it counts towards a new quarter and they could get the new April product of the month. So a lot of demos didn't pre-order last week. They ordered this week. So the stocking levels are going to like, whoo, all of a sudden. You know that every year at this time, the oldest of the in-colors retires. So that stuff is already on low inventory. They have announced, because they have the new black ink pad that should work for everything, the Memento and Stays On are both being discontinued. They're also having issues trying to stock those two and like get all the stuff for them. I will tell you that the new ink pad will work for most of what you want to craft, but they have said like some of the stuff people use Stays On for, like stamping on coasters or like little, or like on a bottle or like the non-permeable like surface, this ink pad won't work on that. You need Stays On for that. So if you are somebody who does a lot of that, stock up on the Stays On. It's already on low inventory. In-color stuff, that always goes on low inventory before they even announce the last chance thing. Then a bunch of other stuff they announced was going on. So Stampin' Up! Had given us a bit of a heads up. Here's the stuff that's going. So I found all the stuff they gave us the heads up on. The one thing I couldn't find was the storage, because the storage is only online. It doesn't show up in the new catalog. So I can't see the new prices of it until the online stuff updates in May. So if you need a bunch of storage stuff, it's going up in price. The one thing I will tell you about storage stuff, how am I going to do that? Just a minute. I think I have a spare one back here that I think I can solve my dilemma. Just, oops. For a moment, just look at the back of my head. Because that's great. That's great, TV. Okay, just a minute. I'm trying to get something without knocking everything over. Oh my god, I can't believe it worked. Okay, I haven't have a spare one of these. Okay, so this is the storage unit that goes, that the marker fits in. Now they discontinued markers, so this is now just a handy little something thing. And the stamp pads go in. So this is where the stamp pad goes, right? So when you see my display behind me, this is how they go, right? So this is the current size. Okay? So this is the new black ink pad. So it's going to fit as well as the other ones. They never really fit. This is not much different in size. That's the Stays On, just a minute. The Memento one is like similar in size. They never really were meant to fit in these things. So that's going to be the same as it always was. The new ink pads, however, are longer and narrower. Now, will they fit in here? Yes. They're just going to stick out more. And once you have them in with the labels on them and everything, it's going to work. They're just going to stick out more. These all have like a layer over top of them. I don't think they're going to fall out or anything. Because they are magnetic, I know some people have said you don't need storage. You can just stack them. That's not going to work for me. Things that are stacked like that, you have to pull apart and pull out. I like things I can grab with one hand. So I want little dividers. So I'm going to continue to use my storage. At some point, will they redo storage? Possibly. What I can see that really is all you have to do is if you made these little stoppers, because they were meant to stop this, right? If you made these stoppers like half, then this would go farther back. So you still want a little bit sticking out so you have something to grab. Like you could make these, but otherwise, I mean, it really works. I have no idea if Stampin' Up! Is planning to redesign the whole thing or not. I don't know. Will they tell us lots in advance, a little in advance at all? I don't know. But I mean, as soon as I know, I will tell you that stuff. For now, what I can tell you is, if you need to, sorry, I just got to put everything away because it'll be in my way when I go to draw. I'm trying to get better at cleaning up after myself and not just, I'll get it later, and then not getting it later. Stampin' Up! May discontinue the storage, they may add storage, they may change storage, we have no idea. I find things, I tell you things just so you know. But I'm going to keep mine. I just redid my whole shelving unit because I had no idea there was new ink pads coming. And adjusted the shelves. I drilled extra holes in mine so that they worked with the storage I have now. I have no desire to do it again. I don't see the need to redo mine. But it's a personal choice. It depends how picky you are and how you want things to be. The other thing I'll tell you about ink pads, and they're not on this list. So currently, I had a cheat sheet. I'll just do this because I can't remember. Okay, so this is the current catalog. So nobody lose your nut. I'm allowed to open it. I'm gonna find the other one now. So the new catalog, or the new ink pads that come out for 2026 will only come out in the 5 new in colors. Okay, these 5 ink pads, only the new ink in colors. They are $20 per ink pad. You can buy a bundle of 5 of them for, I want to say $90. You get 10% off. Is that the right math? Pretty sure it is. And the re-inkers for those are more expensive. Just a minute. $8.25. Oh, actually, I guess that's what the other ones are too. Okay. So this is for this. Now, next year when the May catalog comes out, they have said they will have these new style ink pads for all the colors. The next set of ink colors plus all the families, basics, all that stuff. So there's no rush. Like right now, all you can buy of these new ink pads is the in colors. 5 of them, they're $20 each. But know that next year when you go to get, if you need new ink pads or whatever, if you're going to get them in this new style, they're going to cost more. So currently, an ink pad costs $12.25. The regular old ink pads, let's pick one that's not going to retire. I'm going to pick Old Olive because I know this little bit of trivia. This is the oldest color Stampin' Up! Has, is Old Olive, or one of them. Like of the original colors that came out that has always been in the lineup from the start of time, Old Olive. So right now, if I bought this ink pad, it's $12.25. On May 5th, if I buy this exact ink pad, right, the old design, the old whatever, this color, it's going to be $15. Okay, so if you are looking to get ink pads, and right now a re-inker is I think $7.50. May 5th, a re-inker is going to cost $8.25. So if you're looking to stock up and you want the old ones, or you like these, you know what? There's good and bad. We used to have foam ink pads, or not foam, felt ink pads when I first started. And then they were like, look at all the good things about foam and this new kind of re-inker, and look at this. And everybody got so excited about these ink pads. Now everybody's excited to go back to felt. They each have their pluses and minuses, and they're each you got to learn how to use them. It's personal choice, whatever you want. If it's a budget constraint, these ink pads cheaper than the new ones by a lot. Um, so yeah, if you're thinking you need to stock up on stuff, if you need to stock up on the reinkers, get them before they're expensive. Um, they have said to not mix and match the reinkers because they can't guarantee the quality of the color and that it will work and that it will be true color. So you need to use old reinkers, like the existing reinkers with these ink pads. It's a new formulation of reinker for the felt pads. You should not be mixing and matching. Will I try and experiment when they come in? Yes, I will. But when they did this the last time, I switched out all my reinkers because the new ones were the anti-foaming and they worked with the foam pads and they were better. And I just did. I did it over time. Like as a few would come out, I would do it. So next year, this is the other thing. If you have your favorite color ink pad, next year in May, they're also doing a color refresh, which means they're going to look at all the color families and they're going to say, okay, these 4 colors are going. We're going to replace them with these ones. Sometimes they shift around what goes in what color family. When they did it the last time, like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember what year it was, I want to say there was 20 new colors, and some of them were returning colors. So, like, I got to tell you, honestly, my fingers are crossed that they've picked this timing so that Secret Sea can go from being an in color to being a permanent color in the color family. I would love that. I don't know that. That's just what I want. So sometimes a really popular in color will come back. Sometimes just a color from before. Sometimes they're brand new colors. They fit them in to make them work with what they've got. So no idea what's going to happen next May, and we will likely find out. See, next year OnStage they're changing it a bit in the next couple of years just to accommodate things. So next year OnStage isn't until June. So I imagine we'll get some kind of release in May or April, March or April, I mean, telling us something about this color refresh. But yes, you may not be able to get the same ink pads after that. So there's a lot of stuff changing with ink and ink pads in the next little while. You got to figure out what works for you. There's no pressure to do anything. They all work. I know people who still have the original ink pads and the original re-inkers from 20 years ago. They're still using them and they still work. Yes, the technology keeps getting better. People like these, like our things right now, there's a bit of a system to opening them. A lot of people struggle opening the ink pads. These new ones you just flip open. You just have to decide. I will point out though, okay, so there's difference in prices. So a lot of stuff. So this is it. Liquid glue's going up 75 cents. Fine tip glue's $1. Stampin' Seal $1.25. Stampin' Refill $1.50. So a lot of stuff, $1.20, right? If you have the money and you want to stock up, great. If you don't, it's probably not going to, be super detrimental because those aren't huge changes. There are a couple things, however, that are kind of bigger changes. So if you like the die brush, well, I can't reach mine. It's over there. It's going up by $4. The one for the take your picks. So that's a substantial amount. A package of note cards is going up by 4.25. So it's going from $13.75 to $18. Here's one that you want to get. Now, note cards and envelopes were both on low inventory for good reason. So if these are things you use a lot of or need, I'd say put in your April order sooner rather than later. So note cards are going up by $6 a pack. Sorry, not note cards, envelopes. Note cards are 4.25. So right now it's $15 for a pack of envelopes. It's going to 21. So DSP in general is like $17 for the regular one is going to be 18, and the specialty stuff, so usually the stuff with shimmer stuff to it, foiling, from 23 to 26. Those aren't really ones you can stock up on. I want to say though that adhesive sheets, but I'm going to find it here. Oh, adhesive sheets are going up by a couple bucks. I use a lot of adhesive sheets, so that's a couple bucks per package. So yeah, a lot of the stuff though, like to me, the things that are the biggest is that take your pick if you need one of those. Is note cards and envelopes, and just the medium envelopes. $6 a package for envelopes, and I go through a lot of envelopes. So I will tell you that yeah, I ordered 10 packs of envelopes and a bunch of packs of note cards because I love them, and because they're going up in price. Okay. If you have questions about those things, some stuff I can do in my newsletter, and some stuff it makes it better, and then I don't know what's too much information. I like to give you guys lots of information, so you got something to work with. Let me look at my other notes that I wrote down. Yeah, insert that one I did. The product of the month. Those are turning out to be like really good products. Legos. Refills, that's the stuff that went. Oh, there's another, the hybrid embossing folder. That's the other thing that wasn't available. Okay, that's all my notes. So, stuff everywhere, things everywhere. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do stuff in chunks. I'm waiting for my picture to come back. It may or may not come back. Excuse me. Oh, the frog in the throat. Okay, we'll just go back to here because apparently that other screen's not going to come back. Yeah. Here's what I want to draw your attention to. I haven't seen you guys in person in a long time. I have a rough sketched out plan for the rest of the year for what we're doing. I do this for you though, so I would like your input and your opinions, and I will change and adjust everything before it's locked in. I'm going to start back at doing stuff at my house. The dog, the kid, somewhat under control, but we got a system now, and I need the flexibility of doing it this way, so that's what I'm doing. So I would love to see you guys. 25th of April, catalog launch. It's as much an open house and a planning session, and make some cards, and I'll have some snacks, and I'll have tea and coffee there. Feel free to bring your own wine. I would serve you wine, but I know nothing about wine, and it would not be good wine. Feel free to bring wine if you want. My house, I can do what I want. But yeah, I would love to see you on the 25th. Between now and then, I will be putting out stuff. Starting next week, you'll see that I have a slightly new, it's not slightly new, I guess it is just new, format for how I'm going to be doing my videos. It's really hard. When I started, despite the moon landing thing that totally distracted me, the dog kept running in and barking at everything outside. And then, oh my God, he tried to gas me out of my own office. Oh, I don't know what that dog ate. But it was very disruptive to try to start a video with that much noise going on. And I think, so I'm not going to do lives for a while just to see if this works out better. I'm just going to do videos and post them. Because I can do that a lot easier. I can do that early mornings or late nights when there's nothing going on the street and my office is quiet. Because it's hard to stay on point and focused, and he's loud and it reverberates in this office. So I will be doing some videos over the next little while. I'm gonna adopt a format for the next little while of, on Monday I will show you a new suite or a new bundle or a new whatever, and we'll make some projects, and then we'll make a couple more, and then there'll be another video later in the week with a 3D or a fun fold or something using that same thing. And so we're going to delve into some of the stuff a little bit more and have a little more fun playing, and I'll show you little tips and whatever. But yeah, there's so much coming up and lots of information that really the best way to do it is in person. So I really hope to see you on the 25th. If you have questions, let me know. You can always message me. You can always comment on the videos and stuff as they come up. And yeah, let's see what fun we can have for the next little while, okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.